Hey, live from tape pre-recorded at our studios in New Jersey. It's Syndicated with Lesley and Ben. Don't fucking worry about it. Hey everyone, I'm the Ben of that.
And I'm the Lesley. This is a twice-monthly podcast about television genre and storytelling in which we watch an episode of a show and explore the history of television one episode at a time.
Lesley, it's time. We've been talking about this for a while. Obviously, this is a shared interest of you and I. You and I's. Of you as guys.
Sure.
But yeah, we're starting season 3. We're finally getting to talk about crime.
This thing of ours.
Hey, La Cosa Nostra. La Podcasta Nostra. No, this sucks.
I don't know. You tried. You tried Gold Star.
As far as I've known, I've always wanted to be a podcaster.
Oh, God.
The jokes suck. The quality of the episodes aren't going to get any better. But we are going to be talking about crime. And that means a lot of prestige television, a lot of HBO and Showtime, and a lot of money laundering and drugs.
Yeah, a lot of the bigger ones, the bigger crime, because we're going to be focusing on crime from criminals' perspectives mostly. We're not looking into procedurals or anything like that. That's not what this is about.
Petty theft, not really what I care about.
Not really what we're here for.
Maybe a Grand Theft Auto?
Potentially, we'll see.
But
I think that the main difference between this season and our previous seasons is that I don't think that there's going to be a lot of humor. I mean, there will be a fair amount, but it's going to be different.
Yeah, completely different vibe.
It's going to be a different vibe.
Yeah, we have covered obviously 2 shows in which comedy is a key factor. And hey, not every adult animated piece has to be comedic, but they frequently are, obviously.
True.
And then obviously we covered our workplace comedies with season 1. So yeah, it'll be interesting to both dive into those, or dive into this without that element, without comedy, that we're focusing primarily on dramas. Yeah. But in addition to that, these are obviously going to be significantly more narrative focused.
Fair.
Whereas for many of the shows that we covered for the first 2 seasons, you really could just drop in anywhere.
Yep.
There's typically an order to these events over here in Crime Land, so I'm excited to see how we end up covering that.
Yeah.
I'm
really excited to see.
Yeah. That being said, do you want to just launch into it?
Well, yeah, let's do it. I'm ready.
If you're just now joining us, we're talking about The Sopranos, the hit prestige crime HBO show that ran from 1999 through 2007. Often considered one of the greatest crime dramas of its type, Sopranos is HBO's 4th ever drama television show, premiering solidly between other HBO hits Oz, 6 Feet Under, and The Wire. The show was created by David Chase and depicts the complicated life of Tony Soprano, a mob boss in the New Jersey mob.
The show is split into 2 worlds, Tony's home life and his work life. His home life is populated with conflicts regarding how he can be a father to his children and butting heads with his demeaning mother, while his work life is a constant struggle of negotiating, terrorizing, and fighting his way to the top of the DeMeo crime family and defending it from all outside enemies.
And boy, are there a lot of outside enemies.
Yeah, no kidding.
Lots of almost indictments from the police. Lots of definite indictments from the police. Lots of rival gangs. Yep. Lots of other people trying to come for the throne. I love shows about organized crime and betrayal and stuff. That's my jam.
I mean, they're the best. They're wonderful. What's not to love?
Exactly. James Gandolfini, of course, plays the titular Tony Soprano, a violent and emotionally unstable mob captain who lives in the legacy of his father, Johnny Boy Soprano, and under the shadow of his dear mother, Livia Soprano. The stress... Hey, look, I think I've mentioned this to you before. She sounds, I'm not saying behaves, sounds exactly like one of my dear departed grandmothers.
I know.
Like, specifically all the, like, no, don't bother kind of, like, talk.
I don't like that swag.
Shocking comparisons.
I don't like that swag.
Now, of course, she has not belittled me into, whatever. Neither of my grandmothers.
Spoilers, mate. Sure.
But sounds.
The sounds will get you.
The stress of his life results in a panic attack that winds him up in the office of Dr. Jennifer Melfi, who attempts to teach Tony how to best manage the problems he gets from all sides of his life. James Gandolfini's other prominent work is in film, including the Coen Brothers movie The Man Who Wasn't There, which is actually one of my favorites of theirs, and the mob comedy Get Shorty. Have you ever...
I've actually never seen that particular Coen Brothers film. I've seen a lot of their films, but I haven't seen that one.
I've seen all but two. I'm a huge fan. I think they're actually my favorite director.
Oh.
Plural.
Yeah. Those brothers.
Those brothers. By the way, I'm sure I've mentioned this before. I always find it so funny when two guys share a Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
Nothing funnier. Born in 1957 and 1959. Okay, so...
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, they're brothers, so it's a little different from, the people who share a Facebook account or whatever.
yes, that's weirder.
So much weirder.
But yeah, one of my favorites, shot entirely in black and white. Billy Bob Thornton is the protagonist of that one. It's like a small town crime story that's really interesting.
All right.
It's been a while since I've seen it, but I think James Gandolfini plays a local furniture store owner.
How interesting.
Yeah.
So his role's not really super big then.
It's pretty big in the scale of what happens in the story, which is a very small story.
Okay.
I mean, very much, it's a Coen Brothers comedy of errors kind of thing.
Sure.
Anyway, well worth it. I thought it was great. He's in there for solid.
Okay.
A good chunk of it.
Okay, I'm into it.
Go ahead.
Edie Falco plays Tony's wife, Carmela Soprano. Carmela is no nonsense with Tony about his issues. There's a lot of love and a lot of anger between Carmela and Tony, and a core conflict of the show is how they manage their relationship as they parent their two children, Meadow and AJ. After The Sopranos ended, Falco would play Jackie Payton on Nurse Jackie, the Showtime medical dramedy, for 6 seasons, and which obviously she was the title character in that. I'm just going to say, I think that if we ever do get around to doing this genre, I would not be upset to talk about Nurse Jackie, because I watched that show and it was absolutely fantastic. Just absolutely excellent in almost every way I could think of.
That's one of your
just
capital S shows, right?
It really, really is. It really, really is. I absolutely adore that show for so many reasons. And yeah, I think it should get more love. I think that it was one of those that was a little bit not overlooked by everybody, but overlooked by enough people to where it wasn't as heard of, I guess. Which is a real shame, because it's awesome.
Would you categorize, say we were to cast a season right now, is that fully a medical thing, or could you do prestige dramedy as its own?
I would say definitely prestige dramedy. The medical factor of it is really more or less like the setting. It's not really one of those where it's this is corticosteroids and blah blah blah. It's not like that at all.
Yeah,
I would say.
And there are so many shows like that, especially on these kind of prestige platforms, that don't really have a capital G genre. You know what I mean? Where they're just they're interesting characters, and they're an interesting event in an interesting character's life, but it's not like UFOs touchdown or anything.
Sure.
I mean, I guess White Lotus is kind of like that, where it's just a very adult drama, in which there's some dark comedy in it. I feel like that's plenty of HBO and Showtime's kind of output. And I love those shows, but yeah, because there isn't cocaine and it isn't a crime show.
Sure. Which is always the hallmark of prestige television.
For sure.
What are the drugs we're doing today? What's up with that?
Michael Imperioli plays Christopher Moltisanti, Tony's young nephew and one of the newest members of his crew, Christopher, is impulsive and eager to please Tony, which leads him to causing more problems than he ends up fixing. Imperioli was recently on the HBO dramedy White Lotus, Season 2, as a tourist at the Sicilian White Lotus Resort, a show on which he killed it.
Yeah,
but
that's
didn't
what I
kill
hear.
anyone.
I know.
Don't worry.
I know. It's on my list. It's on my list. It is. It's on my list. The late, great, amazing Tony Sirico plays Paulie Walnuts, who by this season is a captain in the DeMeo crime family under Tony. Recognized by his signature tracksuits and graying temples, Paulie Walnuts ends up enforcing most of Tony's more outlandish crimes.
Lesley, I posted this to our Twitter, @Syndicated WLAB,
Yes.
and I asked you directly. I just
Yes.
want to get it on the record here on the podcast.
Okay.
Is Paulie Walnuts the greatest fictional character of all time? Discuss.
I mean, he's pretty legit. I think that a lot of what makes his character so fantastic is, I mean, there's a lot to it, right? He's got a very distinctive way of speaking. You know, he repeats himself a lot. Like, you know, hey, Tone, did you hear what I just said? And he'll repeat his joke over again, and for some reason that makes it funnier. You know, just a lot of stuff like that.
His laugh.
And he also, of course, he as well as most of the crew have a lot of malapropisms. There we go. Words are hard. Malapropisms. Some of the stuff they say is just so funny. And then we get in there. Some of it's in this episode, in fact. So
yeah, it sure is. We recorded a bonus episode a ways ago about crime shows, right when I started Sopranos for the first time. And I said that, like, I am more willing to I'm more willing to latch onto these characters and let things slide with them, like, on a crime, in a crime sense, because they just kind of have, like, such intense uncle energy.
They really do. You're absolutely right.
Walter White does not have that for me.
That's also valid.
But, like, I genuinely think Paulie Walnuts is, like, the most an uncle anybody on this show is. In terms of just, like, his weird goofiness, I think is a critical factor. Anyway, I love him. I love the way he's portrayed, and I love the way he talks. A lot of life in that character.
He's just written really well. He's written really, really well. I love him. He's great. Definitely one of the greatest.
For sure. Rest in peace, Tony.
Yeah.
Lorraine Bracco plays Dr. Jennifer Melfi, Tony's therapist. Hardly a calming presence in Tony's life, the two clash repeatedly while discussing Tony's allegiances and vendettas, and while she struggles to help him with his anxiety, depression, and family life. She's wonderful.
She really is. We were talking about this before. She's one of those fixtures, right? Like one of those darlings who's in a lot of this type of media.
Yes. A good idea to bring her up now, because she, as well as, let's see if I remember, she, along with Imperioli, Tony Sirico, and like two others. Oh, here it is. Frank Vincent and Vincent Pastore are all in Goodfellas as various characters. Lorraine Bracco is literally like the second lead because she plays Karen Hill, the main character's wife. Well, I guess Robert De Niro is the second lead, but whatever. And Michael Imperioli plays like a kind of an under soldier guy in the mob who, like, one of the,
not a capo, but like not a made guy yet, but just like one of the soldiers.
Definitely not a made guy, because they shoot at him for fun.
Well, there you go.
And Tony Sirico's like in the background of like one shot. He's like, when they're doing like a montage through the bar of all the shitty people they know, he's in there. But yeah, there's like 5 Sopranos actors just chilling in Goodfellas, like 9 years before Sopranos starts.
Well, I mean, you know, it's
so imagine the youngest Michael Imperioli you can imagine. No, younger
than that, younger still.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he does a wonderful job.
I just think that's fun because obviously, you know, there's like there's through lines between like Scorsese shit.
Sure.
this, and then going forward into like Boardwalk Empire, which Scorsese executive produced, I'm pretty sure.
Do you think are we gonna talk about that one as well? Do you think?
Oh, I imagine a guest will.
I imagine.
Yeah.
I imagine so. Yeah. I imagine we probably will.
Have either of us seen it ever?
I never have.
Neither have I. We'll find a guest, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely, without a doubt.
But yeah, it's cool watching. It's cool watching those through lines, because obviously this kind of like mob entertainment would not exist if Scorsese hadn't made so many movies in the 70s about like organized crime and whatnot. I don't think it would be half as popular if Goodfellas wasn't a smash hit less than a decade earlier.
Yeah, I hear you. I think that the tack taken with this one, the whole premise of what if mob boss goes to therapy is that's what really made this stand out.
Oh, absolutely.
But we'll get to all of that.
Well, weirdly, that premise, kind of already existed in the form of Analyze This came out a couple years before this.
Which one was first? Analyze This or Analyze That?
Analyze This.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
That is the fucking Billy Crystal and Bobby De Niro mob comedy. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yes, it is. And it's the same thing. It's
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go.
It's the same year.
Oh, really?
I super thought that came out a couple years before Sopranos. No, they both came out in 99.
Oh. Well, okay.
So
then.
there were
two very different approaches to this genre. How about that?
Yeah, no kidding. Is the trying to decide here and now if this show would be improved by the presence of Billy Crystal. Can't tell.
I mean, what isn't improved by the presence of Billy Crystal?
No, you're right.
I mean, I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. Steven Van Zandt plays Silvio Dante, Tony's right-hand man, consigliere and owner of the strip club that Tony's branch of the DeMeo crime family hangs out in.
Steven Van Zandt.
Named.
Oh, yeah, sure. It's called the Bada Bing.
The Bada Bing. It's called the Bada Bing. It's a beautiful thing. I didn't mean to make that rhyme. It just did.
It's a strip club. The logo is so fucking seedy.
It's the seediest. It's gross. It's gross.
The bees in Bada Bing have nipples on them.
They sure do.
It looks like a bad place to go to. That's nothing against strip clubs. That is something against this strip club.
This one in particular, I would say.
Yeah, I'm not
for sure. Yeah, and Steven Van Zandt, man, he's into a little bit of everything. He's the guitarist for Bruce Springsteen's E Street Band. She's incredible.
Local New Jersey landmark, Steven Van Zandt.
Yeah, exactly. I realize now, talking about their other credits, that we didn't elaborate on the fact that the late, wonderful, great, fantastic Tony Sirico was in The Life. He was in this thing of ours. He was actually in the mafia for quite some time.
I'm sorry, is that true?
That's true. You didn't know that?
No.
You look it up, man.
Oh.
Yeah.
Arrested.
Look into it.
Arrested a grand total of 28 times.
28 times. That's
for
right.
Disorderly conduct, assault, and robbery before taking up acting. My God.
Hey, I guess he was like, well, I can't do anything else right now.
Served 20 months in Sing Sing.
Yeah, he sure did.
No, I had no clue.
Oh yeah. So it's a whole thing.
That's funny. In that case, his other credits include Jail.
His other credits include Jail.
Wild. I had no clue.
I know. It just makes it, I don't know, for some reason it just makes it a lot more interesting to me than it would be otherwise.
Undoubtedly. It's who else is that? It's I guess Danny Trejo.
Oh yeah. I always forget about that.
And I feel like there's another guy that like Michael Mann used to work with all the time, back when Michael Mann still made movies, who was like a former like private eye or whatever turned actor, where they just like weirdly brought in their talents.
Right. And that's what always gets me too, is it's like, how are they so good at what they're doing? Mm-hmm. Like, weren't you like wanted? Weren't you like, I mean, good on you. Love that for you, but also bonkers, absolutely wild.
Bonkers indeed. Yeah, it's always because then they like show up and they're like, no, we would have done it like this or whatever.
Right.
Especially, yeah. Again, I wish I could remember what actor that Michael Mann works with that I'm thinking of, or like the famous story about Two Towers where Peter Jackson is like directing Christopher Lee, and Christopher Lee is like, no, I know what it's like when someone gets stabbed in the back. I got this.
Yeah, that's good point.
Referring to his old job as a Nazi hunter.
Oh yes, which shouldn't be forgotten. That is a fact. I actually did know that. Was aware of that. So proud of myself for that one. But yeah.
Yeah, nuts. This is Stephen Van Zandt's first acting role. He was just asked to come in and read some lines. Silvio,
that is correct.
Silvio Dante, I adore him. I think one of the funniest jokes to me in the entire series of The Sopranos is when they have a truck full of stolen suits.
Oh my God,
that was stolen without Tony's say-so. And Chris is trying to like, see, I can be a criminal too, or whatever. And they're discussing about what to do with all these stolen suits. And Silvio is like checking himself out in the mirror wearing one of them. And then it cuts to him at one point. He just goes, Tone, do they all got to go?
They're back. Yeah. Do they all got to go back? Oh God. Classic.
No, I think he's so fucking funny.
It is. It's absolutely hilarious.
The episode that we're covering today, and we'll get to that in just a moment, was directed by Steve Buscemi, who would later star in Boardwalk Empire as Nucky Thompson, and was written by Sopranos writer Terrence Winter, who would later go on to executive produce Boardwalk Empire once Sopranos came to an end. Winter wrote 25 episodes of Sopranos during the show's run, and if I can do some math real quick, that's roughly a third of them.
Yeah, I think so, because let's see. So it was 9 seasons. No. I thought that last time. Why do I always keep thinking it's 9 seasons? It's like 7 seasons, right?
6.5, I think, because they did
6.5.
They did that 2-parter thing that like later things like Doctor Who and Walking Dead would do all the time.
Oh yeah.
Where they do like
so technically speaking, they consider it 6 seasons. So,
yeah.
Okay.
You know where they do like season 6 part A and part B, and there's like a 2-month gap in between or something.
Yep.
I feel like that got real popular with like AMC shows for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's like 85 episodes in total, so 25 is roughly a third.
Yeah.
Damn talented writer then.
Yeah, you don't get that far without it, I'd say.
Last but incredibly not least, we're watching season 3, episode 11, The Pine Barrens. Paulie, Walnuts, and Christopher Moltisanti are tasked by their boss, Tony Soprano, to make a collection from a Russian associate of theirs. What starts as some petty tension in the Russian's apartment escalates until Paulie and Christopher are ankle-deep in the snow searching New Jersey's frozen Pine Barrens for their runaway would-be victim. Meanwhile, Tony juggles his affair with a fellow patient of Dr. Melfi's, and his daughter, Meadow, learns about heartbreak the hard way. Leslie, I have some questions for you.
I'm sure you do. So you should mention that this is, the reason why you're asking me these questions.
Just
because we haven't brought that up yet.
Leslie, this is your staff pick.
That it is, Ben.
And I'm so tempted to fly into a dumb little bit that's just like, why did you pick this, huh? Where's your loyalty? Or whatever, but like, yeah, whatever. At the end of the day, hey, why The Sopranos?
Sure. Well, as you know, I just really, really love this show for a lot of reasons. I think that, as far as prestige television is concerned, this is definitely considered to be one of the pioneers, if not the pioneer, at least in terms of viewership. Because there definitely were other shows that were doing it pretty well. But it was so new that it wasn't really a household name kind of thing. And I think that mostly, I know that in our previous seasons, we've kind of shied away from doing, the granddaddy, the staples, what have you. But I feel like this show is different in that it really is kind of the start of it all. And I feel like you can't consider these kinds of shows without considering this one. So that's what I think.
Yeah, something about...
And that's why I chose this show.
Something about, and this may be too deep in the weeds, but something about like the difference between something being like foundational to the genre versus the biggest version of it or whatever.
Right. I completely agree.
But yeah, something about this felt so foundational that we couldn't ignore it. Whereas,
yes.
For example, season 1, The Office did not start the workplace comedy.
Correct. And like, I guess, it could be argued that The Simpsons, it was very pioneering. I agree with that completely. But, like I said, my favorite podcast of all time is Stuff You Should Know. And they did their 1000th episode was like a 2-parter just about The Simpsons. So it's been done.
Yeah.
And this has probably also been done, but it's our show and I wanted to. So that's the main reason.
It all comes down to genre semantics and we're the fuckers in charge. So
yeah, that's literally what it's about. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, no, obviously I completely agree. If you hadn't brought it up, I would have brought it up. I've only ever watched a third of the show, but obviously I have an immense affinity for it and immense affinity for these characters, or else I would not have made a sidetrack to talk about Paulie Walnuts like that.
Which was fair and valid.
Fair and valid, thank you. Yeah, no,
Truly.
It's the fucking Sopranos. I don't know how else to phrase that.
Why would we not want to talk about that?
It is, if we were to word association game right now, if I said Prestige TV, you would say Sopranos.
That's what I would say, yeah. Absolutely.
It's hard to divorce it from where it shows up in its in the lineup of great television. It's hard to you can't not claim that it revitalized interest in crime in a certain lens.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's The Sopranos. What else is there to say?
What else is there to say,
We still got 40 minutes.
We still have lots to say, actually. Lots of opinions.
It is nuts to me, scrolling up again earlier in the script, that this is HBO's 4th ever drama program.
Yes.
In terms of their original programming. Obviously, they had plenty of other original programming. I believe both Curb Your Enthusiasm and Sex and the City both debuted before this.
Okay.
I think so. Pretty sure.
I don't remember when Sex and the City.
I believe 98.
Actually. Did it really?
I'm near certain.
Wow.
Curb feels like such a post 2000s, but literally 2000 show, but I couldn't tell you if... Oh, no, all right, my bad. October 15th, 2000.
Okay.
Sorry.
So a little bit later. Good job, Ben.
Google's little drop-down prompts that you can click on?
Yeah.
For other people's questions? It just...
Sure.
Sorry, the first one I saw as I looked that up just said, what is the premise of Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Well...
The premise is Larry David. That's it.
That is literally the premise. That's it. That's all you need, really. What else do you need?
It is truly... Whatever Seinfeld wanted to be a show about nothing, Curb succeeded. There is no premise other than Larry David is a dickhead. Anyway.
So true, bestie.
No, anyway, but yeah, it's nuts how early this was, in the scheme of HBO, even though HBO had been around for a while, they didn't do original programming right away. Or at least not in the way that we associate with them as doing so now. Truly it was the home box office. It was just where you could watch movies scheduled as TV.
that was their whole thing.
Yeah.
That was their whole selling point.
That was the appeal of a lot of premium cable, obviously. As I imagine we'll keep talking about these networks with Showtime and Stars and
which is
American Movie
why we're
Channel.
having these conversations to begin with.
Yeah. AMC. Hell, even the original version of the Disney Channel was literally just them re-showing their old movies over and over again.
Yeah.
Before they started doing original programming and then tried to do Playhouse Disney and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah, back in the early days. It's funny because the word cable is so ubiquitous with television, right. But it's kind of you got to remember no, cable was a thing that got invented well after television started, and that's where we get CNN and Ted Turner and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
It's not comparatively new tech right now in 1999, but widespread adoption of it is now big enough that they can justify doing prestige TV shows like this that are uncensored and people say fuck and there's nipples on the screen and
Right. and you got nipples on the screen. And it's crazy.
And there's like gun violence and like actual gun violence, not just like people shooting blanks and going pew pew.
Sure. Sure. It's real.
Yeah.
Well, it's real. I mean, as real as television's going to get.
As real as television's going to get.
It's a little less Mickey Mouse, I think.
Yes, sure.
So that's why this show.
Yeah, foundational. For me, Sopranos was absolutely television that I know my parents watched after I went to bed.
Yes.
Because I was fucking 6 when this show came out. Which meant Ben. I know it was Sex and the City and Sopranos, et cetera, that were, all right, Ben, it's 9 p.m. on a Sunday, go to bed.
It's just 9 p.m. on a Sunday, it's time to go to bed. Oh, boy.
I mean, actually, isn't Sopranos where, like, the Sunday night being their prestige slot isn't that where that comes from?
I don't know. That's a good question, and I would have to look that up because I am unsure.
Because, like, that's where Game of Thrones later occupied and all that.
Oh, yeah. I guess that was a Sunday night kind of situation. Yeah. I think you could be onto something here, Ben. I don't know, obviously.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I don't know for sure, but just talking out of our asses here. It's great.
Well, let's talk out of our asses a little more. Leslie, why this episode?
Let's do it. Why this episode? Well, so, when we're talking about prestige television, we're talking about the best of the best, the cream of the crop. Why wouldn't you pick the episode that is almost universally lauded as being one of the best episodes of television, period, that's ever existed? I think that if you want to talk about The Sopranos, we could talk about, I think this is one of the episodes to point to most readily. I think it's one of the most accessible. I also think that in addition to that, for somebody who hasn't seen the show, which, I mean, I know you have. I know you've seen it. But you haven't seen all of it. You actually haven't. There's a lot of it that you haven't seen. And I think that it stands alone on its own really, really well. I think that there's not a lot of explanation that's necessary for you to get what's going on or the motivation behind the character's actions. It's just all around. It's just peak. It's just tops. It's just great.
Yeah, for sure. And it's, I mean, hey, rightfully earned.
Oh, yeah.
Its spot as, one of the greatest episodes of TV.
Yeah, that's why. That's why Pine Barrens. That's why.
I did just double check, by the way. Yeah, Sunday night slot.
There you go.
9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1999.
Wow.
I don't know if it was the first of their shows to hold that spot, but obviously that definitely became a trend because that's what they were trying to do was capture that like Monday morning water cooler talk at the office. Oh my God, did you watch Sopranos last night, etc.
Sure.
Yeah, no, Pine Barrens is a real unique episode. I was worried because I've never actually gotten this far in the show, just because I've been watching it, unfortunately, at a snail's pace. So I was worried that there were going to be spoilers. But I guess really the only spoiler that I can tell is that, like, Uncle June gets a little sicker, which, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't, as far as the plot is concerned, you really don't get a lot of, quote-unquote, like, spoilery plot things that happen, which is excellent, which is a boon. So, yeah, it's, it's a great standalone, it's its own thing, and I love that about this episode. I love that you can just kind of crawl into it.
This is going to be praise of Sopranos overall and the way that it's written, which is that I think the conflict feels very loose and the kind of plot arcs feel very loose. I like how something can... very frequently, it doesn't feel like it needs to all be wrapped up by season's end or wrapped up by episode end. That, like... there will be heat from the cops or from the FBI for a while, and that might not dissipate for like 4-ish episodes or something like that. Or, Tony will suspect someone's a mole, and that'll last a couple of episodes, but things don't feel like they need to like wrap up tightly, put a bow on it or whatever by the end of the season.
Right.
I would not say this. I would not say this show like does like a lot of like cliffhangers or anything like that.
Sure.
It just makes really compelling character drama throughout. In a way that obviously keeps you invested and keeps you coming back. Pine Barrens, I think, is kind of a unique exception because I think it is a very tight episode.
Yeah.
Obviously,
I would
introduces
absolutely
a
agree with
primary and resolves a primary conflict within, the 50 or so minutes that the episode happens in. But just like,
Right.
it is, I don't know, not a bottle episode, not really filler, because it
No.
does really accurately, showcase these characters. It's very well written. They do kind of end up, they do kind of, wind up back where they started. They literally don't get the money from the crime.
That is, yeah, it was in the car. But I think, I do think, though, there is a lot to be said for the fact that this was so uniquely done in that the A story is a story that would normally be kind of a joke, It would be like the A story is literally this Paulie and Chrissy get lost in the woods, and it just sounds like the wildest tangent that you could possibly go on, but it works. They make it work.
I guess that's maybe what I'm saying is like obviously it is a filler episode, but it doesn't feel like one because the writing is so fucking solid.
Yeah, I guess you bring up an excellent point, I think, because by all accounts, technically speaking, yeah, it is. It is a filler episode. But the fact that the filler episode, the quote unquote filler episode of this series, is considered to be just one of the best episodes of television, that's just bonkers to me.
Yeah, because, these
absolutely bonkers.
No shit, these are characters that are so well set up and well portrayed, that they can stand out even if the forward momentum isn't necessarily there.
Right.
But yeah, they wind up back where they started. They didn't get the money. They lost one shoe minus one car. No one's character dynamics have changed necessarily, except for I guess Meadow. But it's a whole lot of it's like a whole lot of trouble. But then they go back to just to floor one or whatever.
Right.
Which does technically make it a bottle or not a bottle episode. That's technically something else.
That is something else.
But again, it feels really satisfying even knowing all of that.
Yeah, it is really, really wild how that works. Yeah, but there's lots of reasons why this is just a fantastic episode of television in general,
You take some really strong characters, put them in a really stressful situation.
Sure.
See where it goes.
And see what happens.
Yeah, I think that's a testament to Sopranos' really naturalistic writing. As well.
I agree.
Obviously, as absurd as that would be to happen to either you or I, nothing
Sure.
about the circumstances of this episode feel that wild for these characters.
Yeah.
Again, something I love about the show is it's really compelling, character and drama work that these kind of course, these kind of conflicts, nothing feels too artificial. It feels, it very much feels like, Paulie's dumb temper over someone else having a cooler TV and not saying please when they tell him to put his remote down.
Sure.
Oh yeah, of course that flares up and all of a sudden there's a physical altercation and then all of a sudden they're in South Jersey.
Why wouldn't that be what happens here?
Yeah, nothing feels too weird because these characters are so well solidified, so well cemented in their stupid little patterns, which is to stumble into a good deal, fuck it up due to their petty little pettiness.
What their pettiness, their general pettiness.
Either have to start all over or somehow make it out ahead.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, it's I've literally never considered that this is technically speaking a filler episode before. That just blows my mind.
Hey, television genre and storytelling right here on Syndicated.
Hey, it's why we're here. So yeah.
I got a pile of notes, but unless you have
Well, I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay. This is praise about The Sopranos overall. I know I already said this about its naturalistic dialogue and storytelling.
Uh-huh.
The set design on this show is so fucking good.
Yes, it is.
I love, this is the thing maybe I'll touch on a little later, but I love Tony's office, his boat, his, what's the other guy, Slava?
Slava,
Slava's office, and how there's some obvious parallels between those two. That's, very much the point. in that it's these like kind of clanky metal desks in these like back rooms of popular businesses.
Oh yeah. That's the stuff.
But like, like those places are meant to feel like kind of bare bones. And no, I'm sorry, they're not bare bones. They're not very nice offices, but they're not bare bones because they are like,
sure.
Nothing about that is minimalist because they're covered in like family photos and all sorts of like odds and ends and junk that we associate with those characters.
Yeah, and that's what I think. Part of me is always so impressed when I watch this series, because it has kind of a feeling of what poor people think rich people live like.
Oh, for sure.
For lack of a better way to explain it. And I just remember that this is absolutely what my old house used to look like in the 90s when I was a kid.
Oh my God.
Sure. My dad was into all that chintzy shit. Just bonkers, just absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, do we want to talk about the Sopranos residence?
Yeah, we can, sure.
Oh my God, throwback.
I mean, every time I see it, it gives me nostalgia.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, there's something to be said, obviously, for, hey, look, the flow of time and styles change and all that. And, like, you got to remember that some of the cars they drive are, like, really high-end for 2000.
Sure.
Obviously, they're not what we consider stylish now anymore, because
sure.
we've largely abandoned that really boxy look that so many of these cars have.
Yeah.
But you look at their watches and their cars and all their shitty McMansions.
They're everything, really.
Like, hey, we can roll our eyes at that McMansion they all live in now.
But back then, that's what I'm saying. Back then, that was the business. Like,
peak of luxury for 1999.
Oh, 1,000%. 1,000%.
Now, I do not even remotely claim to come from a family that is that rich, nor are we involved in the mob. But like,
sure.
Those throw pillows, the kind of floor skirts around those couches. We didn't have those columns, but I know people who did.
I had them. I had them in my. I'm telling you, it's crazy.
It's so weird. It's the height of luxury. But no shit. It's great set design. Like when you look at that, or like Liv Soprano's like retirement home room, like it just gives off such a such like a stark view into that exact time period. I know we all like idolize certain there's certain iconography we associate with each decade's design that I think gets pushed to the forefront, and like it's the neon 80s and the orange to yellow like kind of gradients of the 70s.
That pastel 90s though, that pastel, like everywhere looked like a timeshare in Destin, Florida. Like there was just something to be said for it.
Extremely. I'm saying that when you dip down what pop culture is putting out on TV and dip past that into how people are actually living in their homes, like that's the aesthetic. Maybe it's because I'm born in the 90s, but so much of the 90s aesthetic for me is like a lot of like children's programming. Like it's the way kids dressed with like the clashing bright colors.
Oh yeah.
And like the overall kind of thing or whatever. Like I'm thinking of like ads for like, here's how you can use a Windows computer or whatever.
Yeah,
but
that's
like,
what I'm saying.
Nah, people lived like this.
There was more like an acid wash. Like I said, the pastel was a huge thing. I mean, it's a specific aesthetic for sure.
Totally. People forget how brown the 80s were.
Yeah.
No, I think this gives us like a really clean insight into what Y2K looked like, and it was kind of hideous.
And it was ugly, but I agree with you completely.
I think it locks in their character designs, but like I think it does a great job of really showcasing what we're supposed to feel about all these places. That like
absolutely.
The places where the mobsters hang out feel gross.
Yeah, like beyond it being a strip club, that's not the only reason why it feels icky. There's a griminess to it that just exists there. That's just not fun.
The Sopranos home.
It's just not pleasant.
The Sopranos home feels very obviously 1999 bougie, but it also feels so fake. It feels very show home.
It really, really does. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Very show home. very demo.
Which, you know, it is, obviously, because the family is a disaster, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you can have as many, like, columns in your living room as you want. You know, your family doesn't really trust you.
Now, I don't know if you've seen this episode or not, Ben, but there is an episode in which they get raided.
Yeah, that's like season 1,
they have to... I don't remember which season it's in, but it could be. It very well could be, yeah.
Raided more than once.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, I don't even remember, to be honest. But, yeah, I think that so they get raided, and then, like, Carmela's having to, like, clean up everything. And it's, you know, a complete disaster. And it's, you know, it's just kind of, that's how the life is. Like behind their nice house, behind this facade, there is there's guns in the walls and stuff. And you have to think about that when you're thinking about how this family works.
Yeah, caches of stolen money in duffel bags in the rafters and all that jazz.
Yeah, you get it.
Yeah,
you get
absolutely.
It. Yeah.
But, like,
exactly.
You know, the only places that, like, have, like, an air of professionalism to them are, like, Jennifer Melfi's office, you know, like that smooth 90s office furniture look. It's just, like, it does a great job of communicating how we're supposed to feel about each respective environment. And, like, again, that plus the naturalistic writing and all that jazz. It just, this world, you know, whatever. Maybe it's corny to say it, but the world feels so lived in.
Yeah. I don't think that's corny. I think that's what they're going for, so...
Yeah.
What? I mean...
Totally.
That's it. Do
we want to talk more about Pine Barrens specifically?
I mean, yes, but I'm kind of like, where do you even start, man? Where to start? Where to begin?
Hit me. Let's talk about Christopher.
That's the true question. So yeah, you know, the main premise of this episode is obviously that Christopher and Paulie are going to procure some money from a Russian gentleman who owes them a certain amount. And it's funny. I think it's even funnier because the reason why Paulie is involved to begin with is because Silvio's sick with something.
Yeah.
So, like, Silvio can't go. And it's just really funny. Like, the whole premise, the way that it was built up, is just, golly, just top tier shit. But yeah, so I think that the important thing in this episode to remember is that, again, this really could have just been like the B plot or whatever, but they chose to make this the cornerstone of the episode. Like, here's the point. And it does, I guess that it does things to change the dynamic between Paulie and Christopher, which I adore. Anything that, you know, like there's this line that's one of my favorite lines in all of television, to be honest with you, that's in this episode where they're, you know, arguing and it's just like, you know, captain or no captain, right now we're just two assholes lost in the woods.
Yeah, totally.
And I just think that's absolutely amazing. I just think it's great.
No, again, great encapsulation of those characters. I do love, especially in crime storytelling, just the I don't know how else to phrase this, just kind of like petty betrayal that can crop up from time to time. There is that moment.
Yeah, especially when it comes to smaller shit. For some reason, the smaller shit matters so much more.
Of course.
I don't know why that is.
It's dumb shit like he thinks he's giving us orders now. You know, like, okay, he just didn't say please. But yeah, put his remote back.
Right.
You know? Yeah, I'll say what I like about the show.
It's exactly shit like that.
Yeah. What I like about the show overall, and what I like about what I imagine is a running thread through a lot of the stuff we're going to cover, is when characters are like kings of really small empires. So everything feels so high stakes, but like they control like a couple corrupt unions in the greater Newark area. Yeah. Or you know, or whatever. Like, oh, the meth kingpin of Albuquerque. Okay. You know?
Yeah. Or like, who the fuck do you think you are? Whatever.
Or you know, fucking Fargo, where it's the Kansas City Mafia. Like, okay, sure.
Oh,
sure.
Yeah.
You know, but like, you know, but would these stories be even partially as interesting if it were covering like the fucking Bernie Madoffs of the world or anything? Like,
that's the thing, is it's a very, you know, when you think about like the whole, you know, big fish, small pond kind of thing, it really does amplify just how insular these situations are, right? Because they really are just like these little incestuous pockets of reality for these people, where like this is obviously the most important thing that'll ever happen to them. but in the grand scheme of things, like, is it even really that important?
No, yeah. By the way, I made that crack about Bernie Madoff, and I realized Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh,
like,
you're not wrong.
But like, I mean, that is 100% of like a story about a dude who was at the top of like an industry, and got his himself up there through just rampant fraud. So yes, that does make an interesting story. But the shows that we end up covering are probably going to end up covering, I should say, kind of focus on these people who, like you said, big fish, small pond, king of a really tiny empire. Which means that like their, great schemes, the best laid plans of mice and men can be completely knocked over by mice and men being really fucking petty and
often are.
Yeah.
And often are.
And shit where like, the whole thing can topple because somebody misheard somebody else on a 2002 Motorola phone.
Right. Oh man, which is again, this is just such a great.
Yeah. So rewinding to what I was getting at before I said that about the the empires and stuff. That leads to really great character moments where, again, it matters the most to these guys. And I love that kind of petty betrayal that can happen between characters where they're like, hey, don't, after all we've been through, you think I wouldn't kill you? That kind of back and forth where it's like, yeah, but they're like, they're family effectively.
Yeah, but they're family. And right now they're both going through such a unique thing.
Yeah. It's just, characters who are obviously rightfully all about like posturing themselves up and, big guys dressing loud and, everyone's got a gun and they all have, all these things. But then like, it's fun watching them get undermined by like deeply human concerns. And
once it all comes crumbling down, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Once the shackles of society are no longer part of what you're worried about,
not
you're truly free, but at what cost?
Yeah. Not to make this all sound too grandiose, but like Rome fell because people got hungry.
That's also true. Damn.
And they didn't have those ketchup packets to eat.
Mix it with the not yet.
But no, so I love that petty betrayal. I really like it in like Pirates of the Caribbean where they're constantly swapping who's on what team. Or whatever, where someone has a key, but there's only one sword and 3 people who want it. Like, oh yeah, I love that. I love that kind of.
It's been a while since I've gotten into that, but I do love that as a trope and just in general.
Yeah, that petty stab you in the back bullshit. Where
that and again, it's for little shit. It's always for little shit. Why?
Yeah, for what? $5,000? Did they say?
Yeah, it's not a lot.
Silvio's money is like $5,000.
Yeah.
Which I'm not saying that's I get it, but I don't think I kill anyone over it.
Sure.
All that to say, yeah, no, so I love that like petty stab you in the back kind of stuff. Where stuff that makes Paulie Walnuts feel compelled to lie to Tony about like, how this he sucker punched me. No, he didn't. Yeah, why are you lying about this?
He sucker punched me, T. Yeah, that was he definitely does give that. He definitely just absolutely lies his ass off. And for what reason? For what?
For nothing.
For nothing. Just because he feels like he has to, I guess.
At the end, it's all fine.
Yeah. And that's another thing I love, too, about this episode is that, they go through this whole ordeal. They think they're going to die. They genuinely think they're going to die. And I can't say I blame them. And at the end, after Tony picks them up, he's like, well, where's the money? And Paulie's like, oh, it was in the car. And he's like, I asked you to do one thing, but he's not, it's like so tongue in cheek at that point that it's like not a huge deal. It's just like the juxtaposition of like how genuinely they were fucked. They thought like, oh, this is it. This is the end. We're going to fucking die. And then now they're like, oh, now we're going to, they're eating biscuits or whatever. It's just such a classic.
Well, what, like 4 hours earlier in the story, Chris and Paulie have like their guns pointed at each other's heads. And again, just pull back for a second, man.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
And I think that is a lesson that they learned. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's going to stick, but
Yeah, who knows?
You hope it does. You hope it does.
Sidetracking just a little bit, or changing the focus just a little bit. Tony fucking Soprano.
Oh,
at the
Tony.
top of the mountain of characters you're not supposed to like that.
Oh yeah.
It,
Oh yeah. He's not. He's not a likable dude, is he?
no, 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 no. He
No.
is so scary. James Gandolfini does a great job of switching between, again, this kind of goofy, uncle-y kind of guy to just being the most frightening dude.
Yeah.
There are moments. Hey, I just watched the episode where they, I guess spoilers, folks, where they kill,
Sure.
where they kill that one guy after offering him a soda.
So I didn't watch that episode, but I was like looking at stuff on YouTube and I was directed to that scene. So he's killing what's his name? Matthew Bevilacqua.
Yeah, one of
because he tried to kill Christopher.
Yeah.
And he offers him a soda and he says like, are you sure you want a diet drink? Is that okay? And he's like, yeah, it's good. And he's like, because that motherfucker's the last thing you're ever going to taste. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they trick him into thinking, they're like, oh, you're a good kid. And they trick him into thinking that he's like off the hook or whatever. Man, what a crazy episode that was.
But there are times when, again, he switches between that kind of goofball, hey, yeah, I'm messing with you, kind of stuff.
Right. I'm messing with you, kid. Yeah.
Don't you ever cross us again kind of stuff.
Man. Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that makes him like so scary is that like you just never know where he's coming from.
Yeah. You never know what side he's about to be. Or like season 1 where they threaten the owner of the Jewish owner of that hotel or whatever. Where he's like, yeah, we'll just cut him up. Like, he's just so matter of fact.
Yeah.
He's fucking terrifying. And anyway,
he really is.
All that to say, there is nothing scarier to me specifically than when he gets like super zen. When Paulie is saying like, I know I fucked up. I should have had the money. I'm sorry I lost it. And he's just turning around and he's like, he's got this look on his face. He's like, hey, don't worry about it. Hey, it's fine. I get it, or whatever.
And I guess for them, like how genuine is that? Is he going to kill me later? Like, what is happening with this?
Is he just trying to get you to lower your defense and then he's going to sucker punch you or worse?
Because you just never know.
Are you going to get shot when you get out of the car?
Yeah.
Is he going to recruit several of your closest friends to do it?
I think that maybe like the only indicator that he wasn't going to do that came a little bit later when he just said to them, this is on you. Like, if this comes back, y'all got to deal with it. I'm not dealing with it. And I think that at that point, maybe they knew, like maybe they were in the clear, but yeah. Which is before that, who can say?
Which is a great way to, obviously I know this episode never gets truly resolved in that sense.
Correct.
We never see the Russian again.
No, we do not.
But that is a cool way to keep the mystique of that episode going, even if we never get to that eventual point, which I think is some real clever writing.
Oh, I agree. I absolutely agree. I think that whole thing with the Russian is really great too. Because when, like the first time that I ever made Hector watch this, he was like, oh no, that's going to come back. And I'm like, you know what though? No, it ain't.
No, it ain't.
No, it doesn't.
May I read you some quotes from the show creators?
Yes, please.
Yes, please. So the guy we're referring to, his name is Valerie, not spelled like that. But he's the Russian associate of Slava who Paulie and Christopher attempt to kill in the New Jersey Pine Barrens, and
indeed.
Well, they certainly don't kill him in the way that they intend to. Anyway,
correct.
On the fate of Valerie, Terrence Winter said, "That's the question I get asked more than any other. It drives people crazy. Where's the Russian? What happened to the Russian? We could say, well, he's out there and he's got a big mob war with the Russians. Or he crawled off and died. But we want to keep it ambiguous, not everything gets answered in life."
That's so true. So true, bestie.
David Chase, the show creator. They shot a guy. Who knows where he went? Who cares about some Russian? This is what Hollywood has done to America. Do you have to have closure on every little thing? Isn't there any mystery in the world? It's a murky world out there. It's a murky life these guys lead. And by the way, I do know where the Russian is, but I'll never say it because so many people got so pissy about it.
Wow. Well, okay then. Shit. Keep your secrets.
All right, keep your secrets.
All right, keep your secrets.
Another interview with Chase. You mean the Russian? People came to me. He never went up a tree. He collapsed and he was found by some Boy Scouts. And they got in touch with his, I don't know, somehow he was carrying a piece of ID, which led them back to his boss, Slava the Russian guy. He was put in a hospital and, like he was completely his massive brain trauma and sent back to Russia. That's barely a sentence.
Yeah, I think it's important that, we're not supposed to know. We're just not supposed to. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Sirico specifically said,
sometimes.
I think David didn't like it. He wanted the audience just to suffer.
Yeah. Which,
good.
I mean, good on him.
I mean, talk about naturalistic writing. Like, yeah, he's correct. Shit does not get wrapped up.
Not all the time. Well, and I think that, if anything, that response is just so on point with the way that he decided to end the series as well. Right.
You've seen it. I know about it through cultural osmosis. Please,
sure. I feel like that's. I mean, like, not sorry for the quote unquote spoilers, but I feel like that's just one of those things that you just find out about in the course of being in the world. Or
in the case of doing a BoJack Horseman podcast and it being a major reference in one episode.
Yep, that too.
No, but I please, if you want to elaborate on that.
What? Just because he ended the series in an ambiguous way? Yeah.
No, I mean, if you wanted to describe the ambiguous way in which it ended.
Well, for anybody who doesn't know, and I feel like that's almost nobody at this point, it's he's meeting his family at a diner, and then the very last shot of the entire series is like a straight up shot on him, and then just goes to black, just fades to black. And a lot of people were not happy with that. A lot of people were. A lot of people had different interpretations on what it meant. But one thing that I will say is that I know that he accidentally kind of gave up the ghost. Gave up the ghost. That's when somebody dies. He kind of gave it away, like what was happening when, in an interview, he said something about like, well, you've seen the death, and it's like, we've seen what's that now? And he was like, oh shit, I hate you guys. So like, yeah, the intention was definitely for him to have been, he died. But that was a debate for so long. And I think it could still be debated. I think that it could still be something that's considered subjective in certain ways, which is why I think it's neato.
That to me, I think, is a little more interesting than like debating about the Inception top forever.
Yes, I agree.
Because I think there's a lot more
I completely agree with you.
Motivation around that, like character motivation around who's got it out for him and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, I think that lends itself to the overall tone that the show is going for, which is just this. Not everything is as hard and fast as many of its successors would be, or many of the television.
And it's also like a little bit, just a slight kind of slice of life sort of situation too, where it's like, okay, we entered in at this point, now here we are, and then we leave at a certain point. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just think it's interesting.
Zen, almost.
Almost. I mean, I guess in a way you could describe it like that. I don't know that I would, but I guess you could.
I just mean like, we're with the world for a little bit. We're with the story for a little bit.
Yes.
We come and go. We, the audience, don't get to know everything.
Right. No, I see what you're saying. I can get down with it. I can get behind it.
I've written here, their snow jogs, which is just, I think it's very funny when Christopher and Paulie are like hopping through the snow.
Oh my God, yes.
When they're chasing after Valeri.
Yeah, there's so much like bonkers, like physical humor in this, and like, I don't know, it's wild. It's just absolutely wild.
There's a scene in season 1 where they're chasing after a guy. They kill him while he's on his morning run.
Yes.
That involves.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, involves, I think, at least 2 of them just booking it through the woods after this guy. And the guy is like, obviously rightfully like slipping over logs and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, reminds me of a scene from Insomnia, which is like Chris Nolan's Al Pacino movie. Anyway.
I did not see that one either, but that's fine.
Pretty good.
That's fine. I believe it.
The only reason I bring that up is like in contrast to this scene where obviously it's played far less threatening and it's far more comedic, where they're just they're doing the snow run. You know what it is if you live in an area that has snow. It's where you have to lift your whole fucking leg up to take one step.
I don't live in an area with snow, but I know what you're talking about. I've been in snow previously in my life.
Yeah. Contrasting it with that more dramatic scene of them chasing after that dude in season 1, and then this where they're quite literally blindly stumbling through the snow, shooting their guns off randomly.
Sure.
One of them gets, in his own words, brained pretty bad.
Oh, yeah.
Played much funnier, but I just love their little fucking snow hops.
Well, I mean, and again, the language used during this episode, the general vibe of how they're, like the Malapromisms are like one of my favorite things.
Oh, sure.
That they do.
What's the fake shoe company
Oh no, it's a real shoe company.
Yes, but his version is
but it was Bruno Maglio, when he's like, oh, Bruno Magli over here.
There we go.
Yeah. That was a good time.
Oh yeah. May I bring up the episode that I would have done, or rather, can I talk about my favorite Sopranos episode very quickly?
I mean, we're here. I'd love to hear it. Sure.
I think you made a very good choice. I genuinely think this is some incredible television.
Thank you.
If the tables were turned and I were bringing an episode to you, I think I would have gone with the episode in which they visit Italy. In which Tony,
that is a good one.
Tony has some business with another part of the family, and goes to, let's see, where is it? It's because the volcano's there, right?
Yeah, it's hold on, I gotta look this up.
But it's Vesuvius, right? It's not Pompeii.
I wanted to say that. I wanted to say it was. It's Vesuvius. Yeah.
Yeah. So wherever that is, Sicily.
I think so. Man, we are so good at geography. This isn't embarrassing at all. I feel great about myself.
I'm Googling.
Oh boy.
Oh, it is. Sorry, it is Pompeii.
Is it?
Pompeii is the town. Vesuvius is the mountain. My bad.
There you go.
Okay. That being said, that places it solidly in Naples.
Naples. Okay.
Yes. Okay. It's
Good
5
job,
miles.
team.
5 miles next to Naples. Anyway, so they go to Naples, and like there's the whole contrast between, obviously these guys are some Italian fucking Americans.
Oh yeah.
But the episode does a cool thing where it contrasts that their imagined version of their heritage contrasted against how actual Italian people live in Italy. Where like, sure, the mob still has some control, but they demand like maybe like a bigger level of respect. There's a great scene. I think it's one of my, I'll say it's one of my favorite scenes of the entire show.
Just go to say it.
Where Tony Sirico's character is like, he's at the dinner or whatever, and he's like struggling with the Italian food. Italian food.
Yeah, I remember this.
That they're serving to him. It's some, nuts and seafood
sure.
kind of dish or whatever. And like he has a moment where he like flags down the waiter. Or no, I think he asks the people sitting across from him at this big, huge, like, conference table, like dining. He's like, hey, because he doesn't speak Italian. Or if, as he does, it's colloquial Italian-American borrowed words. He like asks.
I mean, he says it's his of Madone and all that, but he doesn't speak. He's not fluent in Italian. He doesn't speak Italian.
Yeah, and he asks the people across the table. He's like, hey, can I just get some like pasta or something? I don't remember exactly what he says, if he says like macaroni or something. But it's just like this interesting thing where these guys have built up where they've come from in their heads so much. And then when they get there, they don't even like the food.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, that's such a good observation.
It's the homeland. It's, hey, we're part of this great immigrant tradition.
Motherland.
Our ancestors built Rome, all that kind of stuff. And he's like, can I get something a little more American on the table?
Right. Can I get something? Yeah.
And like, Chris sleeps through the vacation pretty much. Because
he's on heroin at the time.
Because he's doing heroin and he doesn't actually get to see Mount Vesuvius. And
which is
Tony butts heads with the leader of that Italian mob and all that kind of stuff. And they have like a weird conflict where he's like, yeah, but I'd never take orders from a lady. Tony.
A lot of stuff going on.
And it's just like such a weird culture clash for these guys who are obviously so wrapped up in their, immigrant identity. And then that kind of falls apart the second they leave the area they live in.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
I think that's such a cool look into those characters as well.
I think so too. And again, it's that. It's the big fish, small pond kind of situation as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just underscoring that these guys aren't even like, they're the mob, but they're not like that mob.
Right. They're not to be taken that seriously, but I mean, if I guess.
And what's the big crime they're talking about with the other half of the family? It's like importing cars.
That's right. That's right.
Not really high stakes.
Man, I gotta rewatch that season. I mean, I may have to do a rewatch in general. It's always a good idea. It's never a bad idea.
First couple episodes of season 2, I want to say. I think it's like S2E4 or something like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna rewatch it. That's what I'm gonna do.
Anyway, yeah, I think that underscores everything that we've also talked about coming out of this episode: the big fish, small pond, the Italian American identity stuff, the again very naturalistic, yada yada yada, good character contrast, all that jazz. Damn, Sopranos, good. Who knew?
So good. Lots of people, as it turns out. That's a good thing. I like that.
People were right about the Sopranos.
Yeah, who would have known? Who would have guessed? Who'd have thunk?
Lesley, what was your favorite joke?
Where do I start? I mean, I guess, like I said already, we're going to be in kind of it's a different kind of situation because we don't have it's not as serious or whatever, but there are definitely some moments that are great, some jokes that are great. My favorite one of all time that still rotates in my head like 24/7, like a 7-Eleven hot dog, is definitely when they're both stuck in the car and it's overnight and they're getting cold and they don't know what's going to happen, and they're eating condiment packets that they found in this truck, and they're like, oh, it's pretty good. And then when Paulie says to Christopher about one of the packets, mix it with the relish, I cannot tell you, mix it with the relish, like that just it's just such a beautiful moment. I don't know what else to say about it. Like, other than, it's one of the funniest. It really like takes you out of the dire situation of it all to just enable yourself to just laugh at it, which I think is beautiful. So yeah, that's definitely got to be my favorite. My
favorite joke comes a little earlier in the episode. It is when they're at the gas station talking about what they're going to do. And I just love Paulie Walnuts saying something to the effect of, and that way we'll be right next to Atlantic City. We can get a room, spruce up a little bit, and play some blackjack. That way today won't be a total waste.
That's, you know what? And that's absolute famous last words territory right there.
Famous last words territory. It is so funny to, like, obviously they have a body in the trunk.
Sure.
like a man's life is going to, they believe, has either just ended or is going to end later today.
Oh, sure.
And they're just like, hey, but like, we can swing by Atlantic City, right?
Well, we can swing by Atlantic City and get some gambling in.
That way today won't be a total waste. Just I appreciate that level of like dark humor.
Sure. I mean, it's great.
Also, hell, I'll go even a little bit earlier. We're talking about them being bad criminals and whatnot. The idea of like going down to Atlantic City, if this show came out like 10 years later, absolutely there would be some like stuff where like, yeah, we spotted those two on a surveillance camera in Atlantic City. That proves they were in South Jersey during the time the body was dumped. Anyway.
But that's not going to be this show.
Yeah, not this show.
That's not happening on this show.
In 10 years, some Blacklist episode will.
Sure. Sure.
But I love the contrast between when that family walks by and Paulie Walnuts tries to do a, hey, how you doing? And tries to like be friendly and jovial. And then like they just walk past him and he mumbles, cocksuckers. And then immediately says like, anyway, let's dump him in the Pine Barrens.
Yeah. I mean, there's just so much, Ben, there's so much. I could list my favorite, like, quote unquote funny moments. Like there's, hey, Bruno Magli over here, mix it with the relish. We're two assholes lost in the woods, which beyond being funny is just a fantastic quote. There's just the humor of Bobby and his honey gear. Like there's so much to appreciate about this episode that isn't, necessarily overtly funny, but man, when it hits it hits it.
Yeah, subtle humor, natural writing.
Yeah.
I just love I love Paulie being upset that dude won't talk to him because he looks like a scumbag, and then immediately talking about dumping a body, thus proving that dude read him right. He's a scumbag.
He is a scumbag. He is actually. He is in fact.
These characters know who they are. That's what I like about them.
Yeah.
I think that wraps up our thoughts on Soprano.
On the one, the singular.
Tony. I think this wraps up our discussion about The Sopranos. I'm good if you're good, Lesley.
I'm good.
I know you and I could text about this for literal hours.
Forever.
But we do got
and have done, and will do again.
And we'll do again as I finally finish the program. Folks, my name is Ben Hamlin. You can find me online at Ben C. Hamlin. That's over on Twitter and Instagram and all that jazz. Sufficient Owls pretty much everywhere else. You can check out my other work at infinitybreak.net, where we're telling stories our own way, and you can support this show directly by telling your friends about it, leaving 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, and of course supporting us at patreon.com/infinitybreak. There will be stuff from this very episode up there. I'm sure we'll find some time to do a bonus episode soon.
I'm sure.
Yeah, Lesley, where can people find you?
People can find me at Vanetti on Twitter and a lot of other places, actually. I can be found pretty much everywhere with at Vanetti. So come and look for me. Be my friend.
Yeah.
Talk to me. Hang out. Talk to me about Sopranos. Tell what's your favorite episode.
We are really excited to be in the land of petty crime and
hell yeah,
and scumbags. This is some of my favorite territory. I love media about people who suck.
So do I.
Nothing delights me more. We'll be back with my staff pick in 2 weeks. I have not discussed what that's going to be. Lesley, I'll bounce some ideas off of you.
I'm already thrilled.
Yeah,
let's do this. Yeah. And if you want to talk to us about, The Sopranos or really anything else, we do have a show podcast or a show Twitter account as well.
That's right. Syndicated.
So throw that out there.
At Syndicated WLAB. I've been posting a lot of Sopranos memes on there for the last week or two. Even as we move on to other shows, I will be posting more Sopranos memes. There's a lot of memes about the Sopranos.
Hey, nothing wrong with that, my friend.
This is fucking Tony Soprano's Twitter account now.
I love it.
All right, folks. That's our episode on the Sopranos. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode of Syndicated. Thank you so much for listening.
Thanks. Have a good one.